Hello everybody, welcome to a Two Shadows production, and tonight we are listening to the 5 terrifying true horror stories. If you enjoy this video and would like to see more just like this, subscribe and like. Let's begin with the first horror story. The Call That Knew My Name. I worked night security at a medical billing office, the kind of job where nothing ever happens. One desk, one camera monitor, and a phone that almost never rang. At 2:17 a.m, the phone rang anyway. I answered with my usual greeting. Silence, then a breathing, slow, wet, too close to the receiver. I told them this was a private line and asked, who was calling? The breathing stopped. A man's voice said my full name, first, middle, last, no hesitation. I froze. I hadn't introduced myself. My name wasn't posted anywhere. I asked how he knew me. He laughed, quietly, and said, "You're sitting alone because Mark called in sick." Mark had called in sick earlier that night. No one else knew. I stood up and checked the hallway behind me. Empty. I asked who he was. He said, "I'm watching the camera you're avoiding." I slowly turned to the monitor. One feed was blacked out. It hadn't been before. I demanded he tell me where he was. He said, not where, when. Then the line went dead. I reported it. Police said it was probably a prank. The next night, Mark didn't come back to work. 3 days later, they found his car in a lake. No body. A week after that, the phone rang again at 2:17 a.m. This time, the voice said, "You should have avoided the other camera." That was the first story. On to the second. Something lived in my attic. The first sign wasn't noise. It was food missing. Small things. Crackers, apples. Once, half a sandwich. I was sure I'd wrapped and put away. I live alone. I blamed myself. Then I started hearing footsteps above my ceiling at night. Light ones. Careful. Always after midnight. I called a contractor. He checked the attic. Said it was empty. Said animals don't walk like that. One night, I set my phone to record audio while I slept. In the morning, I played it back. At 3:12 a.m, I heard myself breathing. At 3:14, another breath joined it. not synced. Too close. Then a whisper. My name. Testing it. Like learning how it sounded. I didn't sleep the next night. I sat in the dark living room with a knife and waited. At 3:13, the attic door creaked open slowly. Inch by inch, a face appeared, pale, bearded, smiling like he'd finally been invited. He whispered, "You weren't supposed to wake up." Police later found evidence he'd been living there for months, watching me, writing notes about my schedule, about when I slept deeply. They asked why I never noticed. I told them I did. I just kept hoping I was wrong. I hope you have enjoyed the last two stories. If so, please subscribe and like. On to the third. The last text my sister sent. My sister texted me at 11:48 p.m. Someone is standing outside my bedroom door. I called her immediately. No answer. I texted back, asking if she was okay. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, and then appeared again. Her reply came through. It knows you. I drove to her apartment in 7 minutes. The door was unlocked. Her lights were on. Her phone was on the bed. Screen cracked. Police said there was no signs of forced entry. No signs of struggle. Just one thing that bothered them. Her bedroom door had scratch marks on the inside, like someone had been trying to keep something out. A month later, I got a text from a murder. I'm cold. Police traced it. The phone hadn't been turned on since the night she vanished. Sometimes I still hear my phone buzz at night. I never check it anymore. That was the third story. Let's continue. The voice in the baby monitor. We bought the baby monitor because our daughter had trouble sleeping. The first few nights were normal. Crying, rustling, soft coos. Then one night, after we put her down, the monitor crackled. A man's voice said, "She is beautiful." I grabbed the receiver and ran to her room. Empty, except for my child, sleeping, windows locked, closet empty. The voice came again through the monitor, closer now. She smiles when I sing. I unplugged it. The sound continues. Police searched the house, found nothing. They said monitors can be hacked. Recommended a new one. The new monitor arrived 2 days later. That night, before we even turned it on, a voice came from it. "You shouldn't have replaced me." We moved out the next week. Sometimes when my daughter laughs in her sleep, I hear a man laughing too. That was the 4th story. I have hoped you enjoyed up to this far. And if you have, subscribe to the channel and like the video. On to the last. The job interview. The email said the interview would be at a private residence. Red flag, but the pay was good. The house was old, isolated, no cars in the driveway. A man answered the door and shook my hand. He knew my resume better than I did, mentioned things I never included. He led me to the basement, said that's where he worked. The walls were covered in photos, hundreds of people sitting where I was sitting, smiling, unaware. I asked what the job was. He said, continuation. I stood up. He locked the door. He told me everyone actually sits in that chair, some longer than others. I screamed until my throat bled. They found the house abandoned years later. Bones in the walls, cameras everywhere. No sign of the man, except one photo of me. That is the end of these terrifying tales. Once again, subscribe to the channel and like the video, because it means a lot and it helps us a lot. If you enjoyed videos like these, comment what you'd like to see next. And if you have any true story suggestions of your own, send them to the email in the description. Good night, everybody.